Hey everybody, it's Bo Beery. I'm a multifamily broker in the Florida region. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of responding very quickly in deal making in order to maintain your outstanding reputation, which earns you more buying opportunities in the future. And the faster you are, the more brokers and other investors want to do business with you. Now today we're going to go over response times for 12 different scenarios. As a multifamily broker, I've had the fortunate experience to transact with who I call elite investors. These are investors who transact way more deals per year than just about everybody else. There's a lot of things that elite investors do to make themselves elite. One of them is they respond extremely quickly to everything. For a number of different reasons, which I'll go over in a different video, multifamily brokers are responsible for the vast majority of all closings in a market. As a matter of fact, in the northern half of Florida, 93% of transactions have a broker involved. Brokers are always on tight timelines to try to perform for their sellers. And elite investors have figured out, because brokers control the vast majority of the listings that come on the market, they also control who's on the buyer distribution list that goes out. One of the differentiators that elite investors use to make sure that they're on that list and among the first to see new listings is response times. So I'm going to go over 12 different scenarios that all investors are faced with, and then I'm going to reveal how I've seen elite investors respond and the various time frames within. Action number one, when a broker is first calling an investor, an introductory call or an email from a new broker coming into the market, elite investors always respond within 48 hours. Even if it's a deal they don't want, if it's a broker they don't know, whatever the case may be, they know that every broker is a potential resource for a new deal sometime in the future. Everyone gets tons of calls, everyone gets tons of emails, but if you can respond within 2 days, it goes a long way with the brokers that call. Action number two, a just checking in call or an email from a broker, nothing urgent. Investors get these all the time. Brokers call in, sometimes they ask for listings, sometimes they're giving you an update on a closing, sometimes they're giving you market data. It's just a check-in email. Try to respond within 48 hours, whether it be by call or email. Action number three is the new listing. This is the biggest one of all. New listings are super important. When you get a new listing sent to you by email or phone call or whatever it may be, respond within 18 hours. If you like the listing, you definitely need to be responding super quick so you can let them know you're interested. If you're not interested, it's even more important to respond within 18 hours and let them know what you don't like about the property. Give them something to go off of so that they can get better at what you do like in future communications. But if you just don't respond at all and you do that on a consistent basis, then you just don't make it to any list at all in the future. Not because the broker is trying to be a prick, he just thinks you're not a buyer anymore. Action number four, you discuss the new listing with the broker, you like it, and so the broker asks you to sign a confidentiality agreement. Get that back within the day. It's important. You don't want to wait 3 or 4 days after having a good conversation and then get the CA over. It shows that you're not that interested in the deal to the broker, and there's thousands and thousands of buyers for any one asset, and so you want to look as good as possible. If you can get him to CA immediately after talking about it, it shows them that you're in it to win it. You signed the CA, you received all the deal material, and now it's time to submit a letter of intent within 5 days. Now, many of you may be like, what? 5 days? But listen, I'm talking about elite investors. These are the best guys in the world. They aren't all giant REITs or nationals. A lot of these folks are 2 to 10 person companies, and they know the markets that they're investing in so well that when an opportunity comes to them, they don't need 3-4 weeks or 2 weeks to analyze a deal. They already know what they can get on the rents. They already know what it's going to cost to renovate. They already know how much stuff goes for in the area. And so all the elite investors that I've transacted with are doing it within 5 days. And that goes a long way with the broker when you can respond that quickly, because it makes the brokers look really good to the sellers. The seller has received your letter of intent, they've redlined it and countered it, and now you need to counter or accept within 1 business day. Now listen, if it was redlined to Timbuktu, maybe 2 business days, you need to show the broker and the seller that this is an important deal to you. To take 3-4 days days to respond to a counter is just way too long, and it's going to set you back, and it's going to make you look not as desirable when compared to others. Action number 7 doesn't happen all the time, but I still want to be able to cover it. So a signed letter of intent is in place, and in the interim, while the contract is being constructed, you're going to come tour a few units of the property just to make sure it's still the property you thought it was when you were negotiating. That needs to happen within 4 business days to be on the elite side of doing things. That shows you're serious. Whether you're in New York and coming to Florida, or California coming to Florida, or wherever it is, make it happen quickly. You've toured the property, and you need to either adjust your offer or accept. That needs to be done immediately. If you're going to accept it, tell the seller or the seller's broker immediately that everything looks good and you're moving forward. But especially if you found something you don't like, it wasn't as nice as you thought, or there's some extra expenses and you need to adjust your offer, you need to do that now. But do not ever go to contract at their original price and then try to retrade later. That will kill your reputation, and you will not see any more deals from that broker or that seller again. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, is more deals coming to us. Action number 9. Now we're in contract. All contract negotiations should be responded to within 1 business day. Just like on the letter of intent, and there is a counter, if there's a counter on the contract, get to it within 1 business day. It's just courtesy, and people like it when you're quick and fast and you're treating this like it's an important transaction. Now we're down to the 2 biggest ones: due diligence periods and closing periods. Actions number 10 and 11 I put together because if you're just buying 1 asset, you're trying to get this done in 30 days on the due diligence period. And if you're buying a portfolio, if it's in the same area, I have seen up to 45 days with the lead investors. Or if it's a multi-state portfolio, you're trying to get it done in under 60 days. Now I'm talking about the strategies of elite investors. Elite investors move fast. They treat due diligence very seriously. Day 1 that they sign the contract, they're calling out the environmental person, the inspectors, the surveyor. They want to show the seller and the broker that they mean business. The last thing elite investors want to have to do is to ask for an extension. They know that's a reflection on their reputation, and they want that broker and even that seller somewhere down the road to bring them more deals because it was a pleasure doing business with them, because they completed their due diligence in the right period. The 12th action is the closing period. The closing period is the number of days after the due diligence period. I've got up to 45 days. Now, really, most elite investors are closing within 30 days after due diligence, but I put 45 because most sellers really don't care once you have enough money non-refundable after due diligence. They don't care if it's 30 or 45, but it usually does not go past 45 days. So those are the 12 time periods you really want to stick within so that you can remain at the top of mind for all brokers to bring you all deals, because they know you're going to react fast and take it seriously. Remember, brokers are your first line of communication to the seller. Brokers are the ones in the ears of the seller talking about you. They're giving their seller history on what it's been like to deal with you. If you have historically been slow to answer a phone call, slow to tour, slow on your due diligence period, slow to close, slows to respond to counters on your offers, that's being told to the seller, especially when you're in competition with multiple offers, and the broker and the seller need to narrow down that pool in order to choose one. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any comments, please put them down below. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that button up above and be sure to share the video with someone who could use this. See you guys on the next one.